Okay, so I just got out from my hotel, the Elite Stadshotellet in Luleå, and across the hotel there's this nice park in the middle of the center, and there are some interesting features here in this park. Okay, so this thing here in the central park of Luleå is actually a time capsule, and it says here that it contains all the stuff that can tell us about what is going on around here and about life around the millennium of 2000, and it's supposed to be open on the New Year's Eve of 2999, and this was the artist who made this, and it's called Tro, Hopp och Kärlek, is translated into belief, hope and love. And it's gonna be very interesting to see what it is inside in the year 2999. I won't be there by then, but anyway, I would be very curious to know what is inside. So let me tell you about this town. It's called Luleå, or Luleå, as they say here in the northern part of Sweden. It's a nice city, very quiet, it's not so big. It's a typical city in the northern part of Sweden with a lot of pine trees around and not so much people. In the park that I'm in now, there's still a little bit of snow left from the last winter, and for me it's quite strange to see snow in May, because I grew up in Stockholm and in May you don't usually see any more snow, but coming here to Luleå and seeing snow left on the ground in the middle of May, it was quite strange. But maybe not, it's not surprising, because Luleå is not that far away from the polar circle. I think it's just about 50 or 60 kilometers south of the polar circle. Behind me is the church in Luleå, and I think it's really nice. Just have a look. Yeah, so this is the main street of Luleå, and it's a typical main street with all the usual shops that you can find in almost all the smaller Swedish towns and cities. You see Åhléns, you see Intersport, you see some coffee shops, Coffee by George and all that kind of coffee shops. Yeah, it's a small town with all the usual shops that you can find. It's still Sweden, although it's far from Stockholm, but it's still Sweden, so it's the usual shops you find here. As I walked along the streets of Luleå here, it reminds me about the dialect they are speaking here in Luleå. It's norrländska. It's a bit different from the dialect of Swedish that they speak in Stockholm. They talk a little bit slower, and they use this sound if they say yes, like it's the sucking in the air in the mouth. And in Stockholm we like to joke about that. If they do like that here in Luleå, in northern part of Sweden, this sound, it's like a vacuum cleaner, so you can clean, you use the people here to clean the house. Every time they do that sound to say yes, they clean the house. It goes something like that. It's a joke in Stockholm. This is the waterfront promenade here in Luleå, and I guess this is here where most of the people spend their free time when it's sunny and nice. And this is the Baltic Sea. The city is situated just beside the Baltic Sea, the northern part of the Baltic Sea. And the city of Luleå is actually, the downtown of Luleå is located like a tongue of land, and landtunga, like we call in Sweden. And there's water on both sides of this tongue. And I think that this is the northern side of that tongue. Luleå is a nice little town, not too big, not too small, a typical Swedish town, just so far away from Stockholm. Takes 1 hour by flight, or 10.5 hours by car. But still, it's a very nice town, and don't miss it in the summer because it's really a wonderful town. And in the winter, if you come here to Luleå in the winter, you can actually see the Northern Light, I've been told. And that you wouldn't want to miss, to see the Northern Light. It's really nice. So Luleå, perhaps the city most famous for being the location of a Facebook server hall, and it's going to expand really soon, I've heard, and probably it's going to be one of the biggest server halls for Facebook here in Europe. So if you want to check it out, come here to Luleå and take the opportunity to get the nice view of the northern Sweden and talk to the local people and see more of northern Sweden. So come to Luleå. Hi there, it's Kevin here. It's really not often that you are a tourist in your own country, but this is one of the few times that I am. And the reason for that is that I have been to almost every place here in Sweden already. It's a wonderful day and I'm going to visit Birka. And by the way, behind me here is the City Hall of Stockholm. This is the place where the Nobel dinner is held every year on the 10th of December. And it's a very nice place. I've been inside many times.
En liten bronsstaty som föreställer Buddha. Och den är ju från norra Indien.
Så heter jag Anton, jag är arkeolog och jag kommer att ta er ut på det gamla fornområdet. Det vill säga själva Birka då. Vad tänker ni på när ni hör ordet viking?
Plundring.
Plundring.
Handel.
Handel.
Jag tänker mest skepp.
Skepp tänker du på? Absolut. För just nu så står vi på ett av Birkas gravfält. På det här gravfältet finns det ungefär 400 gravar totalt. Varje kulle som ni kan se runt omkring oss här, det är ju en grav.
So this is Björkö. It's the island where Birka is located on, and there are a lot of small hills like this around the island, and these small hills are actually the burial sites for the Vikings, the Viking graves, and there are many hundreds of these around this island. What you see behind me here is where Birka was founded. Birka is the first Swedish city, the first Swedish town, and it was founded around 700 AD, and it was abandoned around 1,000 years ago. And the whole place here today is a UNESCO place. Here, exactly here, was where Birka once was. And what we see here is the defense wall that surrounded Birka. It's not so high, but it was a defense wall. So we just did a tour, and what we see here is the monument of Ansgar. Ansgar was the guy that tried to Christianize the people here in Birka. He did 2 attempts actually, but never really succeeded. And we learned also that the reason why Birka was abandoned is not known actually, but there are theories. And one of the theories is that the king of Birka, who actually was the guy who became Christian, he decided to abandon Birka and found a new town called Sigtuna, and Sigtuna is the second town in Sweden. Hi there, I'm here in Gamla stan, the old town of Stockholm, and it's only 9 more days to Christmas Eve, and I'm here in the Stockholm city to check out the atmosphere around Christmas time here. And Stockholm is my hometown, and it has been my hometown since 1988, so it's almost 31 years now. There's a lot of people walking around here. I guess everyone is hunting for the Christmas gift right now. Here we have the famous Christmas market of the old town. This great building behind me here is the Swedish Parliament, the Riksdagen. And this year's election has been a very chaotic one, and it has been almost 100 days now after the election, and still Sweden has got no government. That's because no one wants to talk to the Swedish right-wing party, the Sverigedemokraterna. So that's why no government, almost Christmas, no government. And actually today I was going to make a movie about Christmas in Stockholm, but I think that a film about the Swedish Parliament is way more interesting, so let's go inside the Parliament and have a look.
Kan man sitta som riksdagsledamot och minister samtidigt?
This is the election result. This is the Department of Finance. It's a very nice room here.
Invigdes i maj, tror jag, den här medaljongen. Han måste ha lämnat sina politiska uppdrag.
This is Sweden's former Prime Minister Olof Palme. He was murdered on the 28th February 1986, and the case has not been solved yet. So that's it. That was the visit to the Swedish Parliament. So now you know what it looked like inside the Swedish Parliament. I hope that you find the film very interesting. And actually this is the last series in my film about interesting places to visit here in Sweden. And I hope that you enjoyed all the films. And now it's time to go around the city, because it's only 9 more days until Christmas Eve, and I just want to check out the Christmas atmosphere here in Stockholm, the city that I have called home since 1988. And perhaps this is the most interesting part of the Birka town. This is where we have the old Viking ships. So these are the ships, the Viking ships, the actual ones that they use to go out and find new places and plunder treasures and all that stuff. These are the Viking ships, and they can be seen here in Birka. When I walked around here close to the ships, it actually smells tar. A lot of tar, because they are, I think it's impregnated with tar. They are painted with tar for durability. This is a Stockholm lion. It's the symbol of the city of Stockholm, the lion. And here we have the new model of the Stockholm lion. It has grown bigger and it's now stronger than ever. You know, as much as I enjoy the snowy winter landscape in Sweden, there's one thing that I definitely can live without, and that is this one. Finally, 20 minutes later, we're good to go. Yeah, just one more thing. Let's hope that the front door doesn't freeze over. Ah, shoot. Okay, we're on.